Okay, I'm recording this on my new phone for the first time. The picture just changed entirely. What? I'm so confused right now. Like a minute ago, what I'm seeing right now, I was like really far away, and now I feel like I'm like, it's just my face in the screen. Very confused. I don't know what to do, and I feel like I keep looking in the wrong place. Like I'm looking down here instead of up there. Not sure why. I'm gonna start again. You can only learn by practicing, guys. Fuck me. This is such a shit show. Now I feel like it's too far away. I'm so confused right now. Hang on. This isn't even a happy video that I'm gonna post in a minute. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm doing. Hi guys. Like I said, I'm using my new phone to record for the first time. And that was a bit of a surprise how that worked out. I don't know how this looks. All the background shit, the sofa's not plumped up properly, that's annoying. And I'm doing this in natural daylight for once. But I realise I'm not actually directly in front of a proper window, so apologies for the lighting, the setup, everything doesn't fucking matter. It's got nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about, so. Oh, and I'm 100% sure it's wonky. I wonder how many times I've said that in my videos. Hundreds. I'm gonna get my Zen bag. I don't have any fucking Zen. Okay. Today's video, I thought I'd just do a quick little update, but specifically I'm not in the middle of the frame. Fuck. I can't do this. I can't do this if I can see myself and there's something really obviously wrong. I just can't. I'm sure you're gonna understand if you have little, let's call them quirks for now, shall we? Yeah, things weren't symmetrical and shut up, Jess, shut up. Wow, I am just amazing today. This is the real me. Today's video I'm going to focus on my personal sleeping habits. I have spoken about them in the past, but in the past week I got some advice from my therapist which I seem to be taking. And okay, I'm just going to start from the beginning of the story, not the whole fucking video. That would just take forever. Apologies for I'm very hyper because I've had a bit of a weird day and there's stuff going on with the cats, and yeah, the whole camera issue is making, I don't know, I get hyper when I get agitated. That's the better word. I'm a bit agitated. So sorry if I'm very loud and squeaky. If you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you will probably have heard me talk about my sleeping pattern being very erratic and sort of like round the wrong way, if that makes sense. Like I'm a total night owl, and I truly believe that some people are meant to be night owls, but I had got into such a hardcore state of night owl. It wasn't doing me any good, and I was beginning to notice that I was feeling worse and worse and worse. The thing is, my sleep pattern is the one thing I've never been able to get a handle on, and you know, there's hundreds of different studies saying that bad quality sleep is linked to depression, anxiety and psychological issues, and even weight and health in general. So it seems to me, I'm like, I feel really stupid that I haven't been able to just at least try and change my sleeping habits so that I'm actually going to bed when it's dark, waking up when it's light, and getting an adequate amount of sleep for me, because I know everybody's different with the amount of sleep they need. So I feel stupid because I haven't been able to do that. I haven't been able to achieve this thing that I can do on my own. It's drug free. I don't have to go anywhere to do it. It's completely, you know, you don't have to pay for it. So yeah, it feels like something that I'm doing a disservice to myself by not getting a handle on it. I feel like I used to enjoy being up late, and I would get creative at like 2 a.m. That was when I would get creative and want to film or edit or draw or whatever, or I would want to paint my nails, I would want to sort out my wardrobe, you know. So I would get this energy at about 2 a.m. But what I noticed recently, and I say recently about the past 6 months, that hasn't been happening. Like, it's been me staying up and then me getting real sad, and not anxious necessarily, but just so depressed, and it's not fun anymore. As in, I'm not getting creative at 2 a.m. I'm not getting inspired at 2 a.m. I'm staying up on purpose. It's not insomnia as such. It's like, my doctor still said it was a form of insomnia, but people think of insomnia as simply being not being able to fall asleep at night. And that isn't actually the case. It turns out there's different kinds, and I didn't know that until I got told, so there you go. So I don't actually have a problem falling asleep. I used to, and that's how I think this whole thing started. I'm not going to actually go back and talk about how this started in depth, because that would probably take quite a long time. All my videos are long, but you know what I mean. I grew up with really bad insomnia. I could never fall asleep. That isn't the case now. When I actually turn the light off and go to bed, I can just fall asleep. Like, I mean, it still takes me half an hour, but to me that's quick. Like, not my other half, he can fall asleep in about 10 seconds. Oh, how beautiful must that be? But for me, half an hour is like a decent amount of time to fall asleep. That's nothing. Essentially how this started, I know I said I wasn't going to talk too much, but I guess a little bit of background maybe, just a tiny bit. This right now, for the past 5 years, that didn't make sense as a sentence, did it? For the past 5 years, like, that's when I think it started getting really, really bad. Like, I used to go to bed at about 2 in the morning and think that was late, which it is late. I mean, for most people. Not that I'm saying anyone's normal or not normal, because everyone has different sleeping patterns. But I used to think 2 a.m. was late to go to sleep. When I started to get my panic attacks and my anxiety, because I was already depressed, I've been depressed since I was a child. So when my panic attacks and anxiety started about 5 or 6 years ago, that's when I started staying up on purpose, because what happened was I didn't want to be alone in the daytime when other people were at work. So I didn't want to be in the house alone. So if I stayed up really late, that meant that I could just sleep through the day, and then by the time I woke up, I'd only have to spend a few hours on my own. It does make sense. Like, when I explain it like that, you can kind of see some sense to why I did it on purpose at that point. Like, you think, like, people might think, why would you force yourself to stay awake? But it's literally that. I was scared to be alone. Now, I don't feel that way anymore. And that is a pretty big thing for me to say, that I don't feel like that anymore. And what I mean is, I'm not as terrified to be on my own in the daytime. So I'm okay to spend 6 hours on my own, you know, because I can go out to a coffee shop now. I can go to a store, I can, you know what I mean? Bloody traffic. I'm not agoraphobic right now, so I have a lot more options to fill my time with, and I'm not just sitting in a house by myself. So anyway, that is how it started. I'm just going to jump onto a totally separate part of this, because otherwise this is going to go on forever. And I have something to show you, which is fun. Well, you know, fun to me. As fun as sleep problems can get, this is kind of fun. It is really embarrassing, like, for me, to admit what my sleeping pattern is and was up until recently, because I know people hear what I say and they instantly think I'm lazy, or they think I have nothing to do with my life, and they just don't understand that it's actually part of my mental health problem. So that's why I find it really hard to talk about, because I just find it embarrassing. Because if there's anything that I'm not, it's lazy. I'm not a lazy person. I do as much as I can. I try so fucking hard to get well and help people and all this stuff, and I really can't stand being called lazy. So with that said, I am hoping that you're not going to judge what you're going to hear from me right now, and hopefully just with a bit of that background story you're going to understand how I ended up in the position I'm in. Basically, I went to therapy this week, and I have been, for about the past 6 weeks, my depression has been the highest it's been for about 2.5 years. I'm having a really, really hard time right now, and it's really upsetting just thinking about it, but I'm working on it. I have people, you know, I am getting help. because I'm currently in therapy for my PTSD, that could be contributing to making the depression worse, but it had started to get worse before I started that treatment. So I told my therapist how I was feeling, because I couldn't keep it inside anymore. It was keeping me up all night, and it was keeping my partner up all night, because I just couldn't stop. You know, I don't want to be too triggering and say too much, but I was, you know, having to wake him up multiple times a night, you know, just to talk to me and stay with me and keep me safe. That sucks, and I really, really hate that that it was affecting him so badly. I'm gonna try and hold it together a bit just for this video. Not that there's anything wrong in crying, but you know, I'm trying to make a video right now. That was getting to be a real problem. He wasn't getting enough sleep. You know, he goes to work every day really early, and yeah, it was not a good situation. And obviously it's really, really bad for you to feel like that depressed, for that intensely depressed, and not actually have a let up at all for, you know, any amount of time that goes over a month. You know, you need to say something. So I did, and I told my therapist, and she said, okay, we're going to have to kind of take a little pause in our therapy, not stop therapy, but we're going to have to do something about this depression right now. Like, we have to intervene right now. And what we decided was, aside from some other stuff that I won't go into right now, we decided that I was gonna really, 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 really aim at changing my sleep pattern. It's taken me 15 minutes of filming to get round to talking about my freaking sleep. Ugh. Okay, so what she said was, I described my sleeping pattern to her, which was, I totally forgot to actually tell you, I was actually turning my light off and going to sleep at 7 in the morning, between 6 and 7. So the sun would be up, my partner would be going to work, and I would be alone, and then I would sleep until about 2 or 3. So if I was only sleeping till 2, that's 7 hours, and it would be broken sleep, and that's not enough sleep for me. I know that I actually work best on about 9 to 10 hours sleep, but I never get that. So over a long period of time of getting between 6 and 7 hours of sleep, we think it's been very detrimental for my depression. She said, try and look at it like an exposure. It was actually me that came up with the idea, because I said that when I set myself a task, like an exposure task, I tend to do it. Exposure therapy is what I'm talking about. So I thought, if I actually look at my sleep like it's an exposure therapy, like maybe my brain will kind of click onto it and be like, oh, we need to do this. That's what we decided, was that I was going to aim for going to bed at 12, but allowing myself 2 hours to do like relaxation activities like drawing or listening to podcasts or reading. Nothing to do with the internet. Oh my god, that's been the hardest part. I am hardcore addicted to my phone in bed at night. I watch YouTube, I do all my social media in bed at night. You know, I'm up for 5 hours doing that, but in bed. So we all know, we've all been told you're not supposed to use your electronics in bed, you know. And this is the first time I am actually taking that advice, and it is hard. I should say I'm on day 4 of this. Actually, yeah, this will be the 4th night. It's really difficult, but anyway, the aim is to get into the bedroom at 12, have 2 hours of wind down time if I want it, which of course I do, and then go to sleep at 2, so actually turn the light off at 2. Haven't managed to do that yet. The earliest was 2:30, which I still see as a vast leap from 7 AM. So, you know, I'm not beating myself up about that too much. Of course I am a little bit, but that's just me. And then to get up every day at midday, and just keep getting up at midday no matter what time I actually fall asleep. So it's just a total reset of my body clock. And even though midday might sound crazy to some people, that's like they would never even sleep that late. To me, that's not early, but that's a reasonable thing to aim for if I'm going to sleep at 2 or 3. So, the aim is to get me clocking more hours of sleep at a more reasonable time so that I get more daylight, yada yada yada. I'm sure you get my point. So, I can't do anything without making a chart or a list of some kind. I decided that I would get my partner to help me because he is just really great at computer stuff and really quick at it. So I drew up a little chart that I wanted, so I could tick off what time I was going to bed and write it all in. And yeah, so this is what he came up with. I'm going to show you the blank one because I don't know, I just thought I'd show you the blank one. So I'm just going to hold it up for a little bit. Sleep chart, and we've got the date. And then I'm going to have to actually turn this around. So what I'm logging is what time I wake up in the morning. So that's been a solid 12. What time I get into bed at night, which is more or less 12:30, and then what time I turn my lights off to actually try and go to sleep. How much insomnia I'm having, actually, as in how much trouble I'm having falling asleep on a scale of 1 to 10. What relaxation method I'm using, whether it's reading, drawing, or listening to a podcast. Average daily depression levels in percentages. Average daily anxiety levels, and my average daily energy level. I'll show you one more time just in case you didn't get to see it. And it's flapping about, and knowing my luck, this is going to record backwards, so you won't actually be able to see it. Wouldn't that be marvellous? So the reason, she didn't tell me to record all of this. She just said try and record the times and try and record the depression. So I just added a couple of things in there just to keep a track of if something worked, like if there's a specific relaxation thing that works for me really well and I notice it on the chart, because I'm planning on keeping this up for as long as I can, but I'm planning on actually keeping the charts for multiple weeks or longer, and then hopefully I can see a pattern that works. So if I find that listening to a podcast tends to send me to sleep quicker, that will be really good, so I can look back and check. I'm really worried this thing's going to stop recording at some point, and I'm like, shit, I didn't even check to see the setting it was on to record. So if this is really bad quality recording, I'm sorry as well. That's kind of all I've got to say about it, other than I am tireder. No, that's not a word. No, hang on, is tireder a word? Oh my god, I'm so tired, okay. I'm more tired. I'm not sure that's right either. Wow, Jess, wow. Shut up. I am just going to pretend tired is the word, because it might be. I don't know. I'm tireder than I was before I started to try and change my sleep schedule. I'm not sure if that's normal, because I've been sleeping more. I've been getting a minimum of 9 hours a night. Is that right? No, a minimum of 8 hours a night. 9? Fuck, does it matter? No. Okay, I've been getting between 8 and 9 hours, because there has been some broken sleep. But I feel more tired this week than I did last week. And I'm like, what? Like, I was getting less sleep. I was getting it at a weird time of day. And I'm finding it super hard to make myself actually do this. This is weird. This is fucking crazy how long it's taken me to do this. This is the first time I've successfully... I say successful, it's only been 3 days. This is because I did actually do a few videos about a year ago, I think, called Sleep Week. There should actually be a playlist on my channel called Sleep Week, which I never finished posting, and it only lasted for 5 days, and then it didn't go well at all. So this is my first, I'd say, proper attempt, because I'm, I need to not feel this depressed. So I guess that's what's triggering the my reason for doing it, is my want to not feel like this is so strong that I'm willing to force myself to do the sleep thing that I don't want to do. I don't want to go to sleep at 2. I want to be watching YouTube. I want to be doing stuff, I want to be watching Netflix for hours and hours and hours and playing my freaking puzzle games, That was what I was doing. I was staying up and playing puzzle games, watching Netflix, and maybe painting my nails sometimes, but there was no creativity happening. There was no... I wasn't filming, I wasn't editing, I wasn't doing anything productive as such. My method of relaxation was puzzles and TV. I'm going to leave it there because this is super long already. I hope I have said everything I wanted to say, and I will definitely make an update video. I'm probably going to make an update in a couple of days when it's been a week, and just see if I manage to stick to it for a whole week, because I think the weekend's going to be a bit difficult, because even my partner doesn't go to bed at 12 on a weekend, so at least I can stick to getting up at 12, but I need to force myself to do this. You know, it's literally for my own good and it's something I truly do want. It's just, there's a resistance there. Obviously at first I think there's going to be a resistance with anything. On the plus side, I am reading a really good book and it's not even on my Kindle, it's an actual physical book that I haven't read, and I've had it for like 2 years or something. It's just a fiction book, you know, you're not supposed to read anything like too heavy or like intricate sort of thing. Intricate isn't the right word, but I hope you know what I mean. Just a kind of a nice light fiction book is it's good, it's nice, it's really nice to read again. Like read properly and not just read the internet. It's nice to get into a story. So as always, thanks for watching. I will do an update soon, like I said, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye guys.